cheek, stiffened his gait, made his eyes red, his thin lips blue, and spoke out shrewdly in his grating voice.
A frosty rime was on his head, and on his eyebrows, and on his wiry chin. He carried his low temperature always about him. He iced his office in the dog days, and didn't thought 1 degree at Christmas.
External heat and cold had little influence on Scrooge. No warmth could warm, no wintry weather chilled him. No wind that blew was bitterer than he. No falling snow was more intent upon its purpose. No pelting rain less open to entreaty.
Nobody ever stopped him in the street to say with gladsome looks, "My dear Mr. Scrooge, how are you? When will you come to see me?" No beggars implored him to bestow a trifle. No children asked him what it was o'clock. No man or woman ever once in all his life inquired the way to such and such a place of Scrooge. But what did Scrooge care? It was the very thing he liked. To edge his way along the crowded paths of life, warning all human sympathy to keep its distance, was the knowing one's call nuts to Scrooge.
Once upon a time, of all the good days in the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. It was cold, bleak, biting weather, foggy withal, and he could hear the people in the court outside go wheezing up and down, beating their hands upon their breasts, and stamping their feet upon the pavement stones to warn them. The city clocks had only just gone 3, but it was quite dark already. It had not been light all day, and candles were flaring in the windows of the neighboring offices like ruddy smears upon the palpable brown air.
The door of Scrooge's counting house was open that he might keep his eye upon his clerk, who, in a dismal little cell beyond, a sort of tank, was copying letters. Scrooge had a very small fire, but the clerk's fire was so very much smaller that it looked like 1 coal. But he couldn't replenish it, for Scrooge kept the coal box in his own room, and so surely as the clerk came in with the shovel, the master predicted that it would be necessary for them to part. Wherefore the clerk put on his white comforter and tried to warm himself at the candle, in which effort, not being a man of strong imagination, he failed.
"A Merry Christmas, Uncle, God save you!"
Cried a cheerful voice. It was the voice of Scrooge's nephew, who came upon him so quickly that this was the first intimation he had of his approach.
"Bah!"
said Scrooge.
"Humbo!"
He had so heated himself with rapid walking in the fog and frost, this nephew of Scrooge's, that he was all in a glow, and his face was ruddy and handsome. His eyes sparkled.
"Christmas a humbug, Uncle. You don't mean that, I'm sure."
"I do. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? You're poor enough."
"Come then,"
returned the nephew gaily.
"What right have you to be dismal? What reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough."
Scrooge, having no better answer ready on the spur of the moment, said,
"Bah!"
again, and followed it up with,
"Humbo!"